There are rules to wealth whispered in corridors of power that you were never meant to hear. This is not about hustle. This is not about dreams. This is about the architecture of empire built by those who understood what poverty actually is. A mental disease. A failure of strategy. A choice you keep making without knowing you are choosing. What follows is not for the fragile. What follows is Machiavelli's doctrine on dominion over scarcity itself. If you have ever wondered why the system feels rigged, why effort does not equal reward, why good people stay poor while ruthless men build dynasties, subscribe now. Because what comes next will rewrite every lie you were taught about money. And if you are not ready to abandon the comfort of your own excuses, leave now. This knowledge has a price. Poverty begins in the mind long before it appears in the wallet. The prince who inherits a kingdom and the beggar who inherits nothing stand separated not by fortune, but by a single invisible belief. The prince believes the world owes him administration. The beggar believes the world owes him mercy. One takes. One asks. One becomes legend. One becomes invisible. Machiavelli understood this. He watched peasants pray while princes plotted. He saw that wealth flows not to the deserving but to the strategic. Not to the moral but to the patient. The question is not whether you deserve riches. The question is whether you have the stomach to do what wealthy men do when no one is watching. Let me tell you about two brothers born in Florence, 1523. Same blood. Same house. Same father who died in debt. One brother became a merchant of wool, worked honorably, saved carefully, died respected and moderately comfortable at 62. The other became a banker to tyrants, funded wars he did not believe in, lent money to men he despised, manipulated currency exchanges across 3 nations, and died at 58 in a villa with fountains that ran wine. His grandchildren became royalty. The merchant's grandchildren became merchants. History remembered one, forgot the other. Which brother understood wealth? Here is the first whisper. Wealth is not built. It is taken from those who do not guard it. The world contains a fixed amount of power at any given moment. Money is simply power made liquid, made transferable, made countable. When you gain wealth, someone else loses access to it. This is not cruelty. This is mathematics. The market is a battlefield where resources flow toward the cunning and away from the naive. Every transaction is a negotiation of dominance. The man who believes in fair exchange stays poor. The man who understands value is perceptual becomes dangerous. You were taught that hard work creates wealth. That is a lie told by those who need your labor to build their empires. Hard work creates exhaustion. Strategy creates wealth. The laborer digs the foundation. The architect owns the building. Comment below the moment you realized effort and reward are not connected. I want to know when the illusion shattered for you. Most people misunderstand the origin of their poverty. They think it is circumstance, bad luck, lack of opportunity, the wrong family, the wrong economy, the wrong timing. All false. Poverty is the natural state of the passive mind. Wealth requires violation. Not of law necessarily, though Machiavelli would argue law is simply the preference of whoever holds power. Wealth requires violation of social comfort. You must be willing to do what others find distasteful. Not evil. Distasteful. There is a difference. Let me show you where that line exists. The Medici family did not become the hidden throne of Europe by selling art. They became royalty by controlling debt. By becoming the entity that kings bowed to when treasuries ran empty. They understood the most profitable position is not owner, not seller, not maker. It is creditor. The man who owns the business takes risk. The man who lends to the business takes interest with limited exposure. When the business fails, the owner loses everything. The creditor seizes assets at a fraction of their value. This is how empires transfer quietly. The Medici smiled at their debtors. They were patient. They were kind even. And one by one, they swallowed the whole of Italy without a single army. Lesson 1. Become the source, not the recipient. The poor wait for payment. The wealthy control the flow. This is the innermost secret of financial power. Position yourself not where money ends up, but where it must pass through. Every river has a narrowing, a place where all the water is forced into a channel. That is where you build your mill. That is where you extract your percentage. Whether you are an employee or an empire, the principle scales. The employee waits for salary. The contractor sets terms. The platform owner takes a cut of every transaction without producing anything. Who has leverage? The man providing the service or the man controlling access to the customers? Machiavelli wrote that fortresses are useful or useless depending on whether you have enemies. Money fortresses work the same way. Savings protect you from small disasters but do nothing against systemic collapse. Real wealth is structural position. It is being the bridge, the gateway, the unavoidable intermediary. Ask yourself right now, in your current work, are you the product or the platform? If you are the product, you are losing. There was a trader in Venice who never touched a single bolt of silk, never rowed a ship, never inspected a warehouse. He simply knew the prices in 6 cities better than anyone alive. He employed 14-year-old boys to run between ports faster than official couriers. Because he received information 3 days ahead of competitors, he made fortunes on margins invisible to others. He bought when others panicked. He sold when others hoped. His entire wealth was built on knowing something seconds before the crowd. He contributed nothing. He produced nothing. He died wealthier than the merchants whose goods he bet against. Information asymmetry is the oldest edge. You do not need capital to start. You need to know what others do not. Here is the trap most fall into. They seek to become valuable, to increase their skill, their reputation, their worth. All noble, all useless for wealth. Value and price are not the same. A doctor saves lives and earns a salary. A man who patents the delivery mechanism for a drug never sees a patient and earns royalties forever. Who captured wealth? The one who owned the system, not the one who operated it. You can be the most skilled, the hardest working, the most irreplaceable talent in a company, and you will still be paid the minimum required to keep you from leaving. Because your value is not what you produce. Your value is what it would cost to replace you. And everyone is replaceable. Lesson 2. Detach income from time. The poor sell hours. The middle class sells expertise. The wealthy sell systems that work while they sleep. This is not passive income fantasy. This is structural reality. Machiavelli observed that princes who depended on their own armies were stronger than those who hired mercenaries. But in wealth, the opposite is true. The man who depends on his own labor is fragile. The man who builds a mechanism, a process, a platform that generates regardless of his presence, he becomes antifragile. Money must flow to you whether you are awake or asleep, healthy or sick, motivated or depressed. If your income stops when you stop, you are not building wealth. You are building a sophisticated slavery. With a bigger request, a harder situation, and the expectation that you will deliver again. You are not helping. You are training. Training people to see you as the solution to problems they should solve themselves. And that is not love. That is codependency with a credit score. No is not rejection. It is redirection. It tells people to find another way, to grow capacity, to face their own consequences. And consequences are the only real teacher. You rob people of that when you say yes too quickly. You think you are saving them. You are stalling them. And yourself. The rich understand that every no protects a future yes that actually matters. They are not saying no to everything. They are saying no to anything that does not align. And alignment is the difference between wealth and exhaustion. Rule 11. Leverage other people's time, never your own equity. Time is the only asset you cannot rebuild. The rich know this at a cellular level. So they buy it, rent it, negotiate for it. But they never trade their equity for it. You work overtime to help your cousin move, to cover a shift for a friend, to manage your parents' finances because they never learned. And every hour you spend there is an hour you do not spend building. The math is brutal. Your time goes to their problem. Their problem does not pay you. You get gratitude. Maybe. You lose momentum. Definitely. The rich do not mow their own lawns. Not because they are lazy. Because their hour is worth more than the cost of the service. You mow your lawn to save $40 and lose 3 hours. They pay $40 and spend 3 hours earning $4,000. That is not privilege. That is math. And math does not care about your work ethic. It cares about your allocation. Here is the inversion. Your family expects your time because they do not value it the way you should. To them, you are free labor. To you, you should be exponential leverage. Every hour you give away for free is an hour you could have spent writing, building, investing, learning, connecting, compounding. The opportunity cost is invisible, so you ignore it. The rich make it visible. They assign a number to their time, and anything below that number gets delegated or deleted. What is your time worth per hour? If you do not know, comment and guess. Because if you do not know, someone else is setting the price. And it is always lower than it should be. There was a consultant who charged $800 an hour. His brother asked him to help remodel a kitchen. For free. Family rate. The consultant did the math. 40 hours of work. $32,000 in opportunity cost. He offered to pay for a contractor instead. $4,000. The brother was offended. Said he was too good for family now. The consultant said no. I am too expensive for free. The brother did not understand. But the consultant's business doubled that year. Because he protected his time like the asset it was. You are not required to donate your scarcest resource to people who waste theirs. That is not cold. That is clarity. And clarity is the cost of entry to wealth. Rule 12. Build in secret, reveal in completion. The rich do not announce the plan. They unveil the result. You tell your family you are starting a business. They list every reason it will fail. Every risk. Every person who tried and lost. Their fear becomes your atmosphere. And atmosphere determines altitude. The wealthy learn to go silent during construction. Not because they are ashamed. Because they are focused. And focus cannot survive an audience of doubters. Every time you share a fragile idea with someone not equipped to protect it, you damage it. Their skepticism becomes your self-doubt. Their questions become your hesitation. And your hesitation becomes your excuse. The rich skip this entire cycle. They build behind closed doors. And when they emerge, the thing is already real. Already working. Already undeniable. Now the same people who would have discouraged you want to celebrate you. Let them. But do not let them in during the fragile phase. Comment if you have ever shared a goal too early and regretted it. The regret is the lesson. There is a psychological phenomenon called social reality. When you speak a goal, your brain receives a dopamine hit as if you have already achieved it. The reward comes early. The motivation drops. You feel accomplished just for announcing it. So you do not execute. You explained. The rich deprive themselves of that false reward. They stay hungry by staying quiet. The only proof they allow is progress. And progress does not need applause. It needs repetition. Your family does not need to know you are writing a book until the book is published. They do not need to know you are saving until you have 6 months of runway. They do not need to know you are investing until the portfolio is positive. Premature disclosure is a tax on momentum. And momentum is the most fragile stage of any transformation. Build in the dark. Launch in the light. Let the work speak before you do. Rule 13. Money does not solve broken systems. It amplifies them. You give your brother money to pay rent. He pays it. Then he is short again next month. And the next. And the next. You are not helping him. You are funding his dysfunction. The rich see this immediately. They do not ask what someone needs. They ask why they need it. And if the answer is a pattern, they do not write the check. They address the pattern. Or walk away. Because money into a broken system is not charity. It is gasoline on a fire. Most people are not broke because of circumstances. They are broke because of decisions. Repeated decisions. And if you fund the person without changing the decision structure, you just become part of the cycle. The rich refuse that role. They will fund education, systems, accountability, but they will not fund chaos and call it love. Here is the test. If you gave this person $10,000, would their life improve, or would they just have 10,000 more reasons to avoid changing? If the answer is the latter, the answer is no. You are not being cruel. You are being accurate. Comment if you have ever tried to help someone who stayed stuck no matter what you gave. You are not the problem. The system is. There was a mother who kept bailing out her son. Rent, bills, legal fees. 4 years. She thought she was saving him. A therapist finally told her the truth. You are preventing him from hitting the bottom he needs to hit to change. Every time you catch him, you reset the lesson. She stopped. He spiraled. Then he stabilized. Then he grew. 5 years later, he thanked her for stopping, not for starting. Money is an amplifier. It makes good systems great and bad systems catastrophic. If you do not see evidence of a functional system, do not add capital. Add boundaries. Add questions. Add space. Let the discomfort do the teaching you cannot. Rule 14. Never let gratitude become guilt. Someone does something for you. Now you owe them. Forever. That is the transaction you agreed to without reading the terms. And it is a trap. Gratitude is natural. Guilt is a weapon. And the moment someone turns your gratitude into an obligation, they are no longer giving. They are investing. In control. The rich recognize this maneuver instantly. They thank people. Genuinely. But they do not let thanks become leverage. Your parents helped you once. With college. With a car. With rent when you were young. And now, decades later, every boundary you set is met with the same response. After all we did for you. That is not gratitude. Not because they are smarter. Because they have the luxury of time horizon. The only way to escape this is to manufacture your own time. Lower your cost of existence so radically that you can afford to play the long game even with small capital. The monk and the millionaire have the same advantage. Neither needs much to survive. Both can wait. Machiavelli said the prince must learn to be fox and lion. The lion cannot defend against traps. The fox cannot defend against wolves. You need both. In wealth, the fox is strategy. The lion is execution. Most people are all lion. They work hard, charge forward, get caught in traps they never saw. Some are all fox. They plan endlessly, never act, die with perfect strategies and empty banks. You must be both. Know when to wait and when to strike. Feel the difference in your body. Lesson 6. Timing is not luck. It is pattern recognition. The wealthy do not have better opportunities. They recognize the same opportunities faster. A market begins to shift. The poor see it 6 months later on the news. The middle class sees it 3 months later in reports. The wealthy saw it beginning 9 months ago in data, behavior, whispers. By the time you hear about the opportunity, they have already entered and are preparing to exit into your enthusiasm. You are not late because you are unlucky. You are late because you are not watching the right signals. And you are not watching the right signals because you have not been taught what to look for. Where do you get your information about money? Social media, news, friends, all lagging indicators. The real information flows in closed networks, private channels, expensive conferences, insider communities. You do not need to be rich to access these. You need to be useful, curious, or bold enough to enter spaces where you do not yet belong. The poor wait for permission. The wealthy assume access and apologize later if needed. Tell me in the comments the last time you entered a room you felt you did not deserve to be in. That feeling is the border of your next income level. There is a violence to wealth creation that polite society does not acknowledge. Not physical, structural. You must be willing to let others fail while you succeed. To take the deal they did not see. To buy the asset they could not afford. To walk past the beggar because stopping does not scale. This sounds monstrous. But every wealthy person has made peace with it. They donate later, build foundations, fund scholarships. But in the accumulation phase, they prioritize ruthlessly. Because divided attention is the death of momentum. You cannot build and rescue at the same time. The poor try to do both and fail at both. Machiavelli wrote that liberality, if practiced so that you are known for it, harms you. Because to be considered generous, you must waste resources ostentatiously. This wastes your strength. Then when you must conserve, you are called miserly. Better to be thought miserly while you build, than generous once you have excess that regenerates. The world will forgive your early stinginess if your later abundance is shared. But it will never forgive your early generosity if it leads to your collapse and dependency. Lesson 7. Protect the mission over the feeling. Your family will not understand why you work while they sleep. Your friends will not understand why you stop going out. Your partner may not understand why you hoard resources instead of spending on comfort. You will be called selfish, obsessed, cold. These labels are the price of transition. The caterpillar does not explain itself to other caterpillars while it builds the cocoon. It simply goes silent and transforms. You are in the cocoon phase. Every resource spent on comfort is a delay of metamorphosis. The people who love you will still love you when you emerge. The ones who do not were never yours to begin with. This does not mean abandon everyone. It means set boundaries that protect your becoming. The poor are available to everyone and controlled by everyone's emergencies. The wealthy are available to few and control their own calendar. Access to you must become a prize, not a given. Your time is the only non-renewable resource you have. Spend it like a miser. Hoard it. Invest it only where it compounds. Here is a thought that will disturb you. Not everyone in your life wants you to be wealthy. Some need you to stay poor so they feel better about their own stagnation. They will disguise it as concern. They will say you are changing, losing yourself, becoming someone you are not. What they mean is you are becoming someone they can no longer predict or control. Let them say it. Keep building. There was a man in Rome who worked in his brother's shop for 11 years. Saved every coin. Lived like a servant while his brother mocked him for having no life, no joy, no courage. In the 12th year, he bought a competitor's failing business for almost nothing. Turned it into 3 shops within 5 years. His brother came to him asking for a loan. He gave it. With interest. Not cruelty. Clarity. The brother finally understood that sacrifice is not suffering. It is strategy. Lesson 8. Delay gratification until gratification becomes irrelevant. The poor reward themselves for effort. The wealthy reward themselves for milestones. Effort means nothing. Everyone works hard. Results are the only language wealth speaks. You do not get paid for trying. You get paid for delivering. The marketplace does not care about your story. It cares about whether you solved a problem. This is why the most tragic figure is the hard-working poor person. They have the ingredients but the wrong recipe. They cook effort instead of outcome. And effort does not sell. Reframe how you see your own work. Are you busy or are you effective? Busy is a feeling. Effective is a measure. The busy person ends the day exhausted and unchanged. The effective person ends the day closer to the objective. You can be lazy and effective. You can be busy and worthless. The metric is not hours. It is movement toward the goal. If you have not subscribed, do it now. Not for me. For the algorithm to know you are serious. Because what comes next separates the philosophers from the practitioners. Let us talk about fear. The poor are afraid of loss. The wealthy are afraid of stagnation. Completely different fears. The poor hold tight to what they have, avoid risk, seek stability. They lose slowly by inflation, by missed opportunity, by the safe choice that compounds into insignificance. The wealthy risk constantly, but calculated. They know that the worst case of a failed bet is they rebuild. The worst case of never betting is they stay the same while the world moves on. One fear preserves. One fear propels. Machiavelli said fortunes change but men do not adapt, so they fail. He watched kingdoms collapse because kings could not adjust their nature to the times. Wealth demands fluidity. What worked 5 years ago is obsolete. The skill that made you money last decade may be your anchor now. You must be willing to kill your old self repeatedly. The poor cling to identity. I am a teacher. I am a driver. I am a salesman. The wealthy cling to outcome. I am someone who creates value and captures it. The method changes. The principle does not. Lesson 9. Become unrecognizable every 3 years. If the you from 3 years ago would understand all your current decisions, you are not growing. You should be alienating your past self. The beliefs, the limits, the fears that defined you must be left behind like dead skin. This is not instability. This is evolution. The market rewards those who adapt fastest. Your loyalty is not to your old self. It is to your future self. And your future self needs you to betray every comfort your current self clings to. What belief about money did you have 3 years ago that you now know is completely false? Comment it. Let us see who has been learning and who has been repeating. Now the doctrine deepens. You have the principles. But principles without psychology are useless. Because the real prison is not your bank account. It is your nervous system. You were conditioned from birth to fear wealth. Not consciously. Subtly. Money is the root of evil. Rich people are greedy. Blessed are the poor. It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. These are control mechanisms. They keep the majority docile while the minority accumulates. Every religion, every cultural story, every fable warns you against wanting too much. Why? Because the system needs workers, consumers, obedient participants. It does not need a population of wealthy free agents. Machiavelli understood the role of religion in state control. He wrote that it was useful for princes to appear religious because it made the masses obedient. He did not hate religion. He simply saw it clearly. The same is true for poverty narratives. You are taught that suffering is noble, so you do not rebel against suffering. You are taught that wealth corrupts, so you do not seek it. Meanwhile, those teaching you these lessons live in palaces and send their children to elite schools. The Pope lived in the Vatican. The preacher drives a luxury car. The socialist leader has 3 houses. Do not listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Lesson 10. Ignore all financial advice from people poorer than you want to be. This sounds arrogant. It is survival. Your broke uncle has opinions on your business. Your struggling friend warns you against risk. Your comfortable parent wants you to get a stable job. All of them love you. None of them can guide you. Because they navigated toward different outcomes. You do not ask a thin person how to gain muscle. You do not ask a homeless man how to buy property. You do not ask the poor how to build wealth. They have expertise in poverty. Their advice will keep you excellent at being poor. This does not mean disrespect them. It means protect your mind from their limitations. They will project their fears onto you and call it wisdom. No, do not start that business, most fail. No, do not quit your job, you need security. No, do not move to that city, it is expensive. Every warning is their trauma speaking. Thank them. Ignore them. Move. The voices in your head that say you cannot, you should not, it is too risky, who do you think you are? Those are not your voices. They are echoes of everyone who ever doubted themselves around you. Parents, teachers, friends, society. All of their failures and fears downloaded into your subconscious. Your job is to identify which thoughts are yours and which are inherited. Then delete the inherited ones line by line. Here is the exercise Machiavelli would give. Write down every belief you have about money. Then next to each, write who taught you that belief. You will find that your poverty was not chosen. It was installed. And anything installed can be uninstalled. The wealthy do not think about money the way you do. To them, it is a tool, a game, a language. To you, it is survival, status, stress. That emotional charge is what keeps you from making rational decisions. You hold on to a failing investment because you are emotionally attached. You avoid a good deal because the person offering it annoys you. You underprice yourself because you feel guilty charging what you are worth. Every emotion is a leak in your wealth structure. Lesson 11. Become emotionally neutral toward money. It is not good. It is not evil. It is a tool for building optionality. The poor are emotional about money because it is scarce. The wealthy are neutral because it is abundant. But abundance is not the cause of neutrality. Neutrality is the cause of abundance. You must practice neutrality before you have the money. Treat $100 the same as $1 million in your mind. Both are just numbers. Both represent stored energy. Get excited about neither. Get depressed about neither. This is not suppression. This is mastery. When you can lose 10,000 and feel nothing, gain 10,000 and feel nothing, you are ready to play at higher levels. Because the game at higher levels requires calm during swings that would destroy the average person's mental health. A market drops 30%. The poor panic sell. The wealthy see a sale. Same event. Different nervous system. Tell me the largest amount of money you ever lost. Just the number. No story. I want to see what kind of pain thresholds we are working with here. Machiavelli observed that men are driven by two major motives: fear and love. In wealth, this translates to fear of loss and desire for gain. The amateur is controlled by both. The professional uses both in others but feels neither himself. He creates desire in his customers. He creates fear of missing out. He remains calm. This is the asymmetry. You must become the house, not the gambler. The house has an edge and plays infinite games. The gambler has hope and plays until broke. How do you become the house in your own life? You stop betting on singular outcomes and start building systems with edge. The gambler bets on one stock. The house owns the brokerage. The gambler hopes his business succeeds. The house owns 10 businesses knowing 3 will fail, 4 will survive, 3 will thrive. The house cannot lose because the house is diversified, patient, and emotionally detached. Lesson 12. Build portfolios, not single bets. This applies to income, relationships, skills, geography, everything. The poor have one job, one skill, one plan. The wealthy have multiple income streams, multiple skills, multiple plans. When one fails, they pivot. The poor collapse. You must become redundant in your value. If your employer disappeared tomorrow, do you have another buyer for your skill? If your industry collapsed, do you have another skill? If your country's economy failed, do you have options elsewhere? These are not paranoid questions. These are strategic ones. Machiavelli wrote that the prince who relies entirely on fortune falls when fortune changes. The same is true for you. If your wealth depends entirely on one client, one platform, one trend, you are fragile. Antifragility is built through intentional redundancy. Yes, it is slower at first. Yes, it feels inefficient. But when the storm comes, and the storm always comes, you will be the one still standing. There is a darkness here we must name. To build wealth, you will have to become comfortable with inequality. Comfortable watching others struggle while you ascend. Comfortable paying someone less than the value they create so you can capture the margin. Comfortable with the fact that your win often requires someone else's loss. The marketplace is not a charity. It is a coliseum. You are either entertainment or victor. This is where most people's resolve breaks. They want to be wealthy and liked. Wealthy and morally pure. Wealthy and universally respected. Impossible. The moment you start winning, someone will resent it. The moment you charge what you are worth, someone will call you greedy. The moment you set boundaries, someone will call you selfish. These accusations are the price of admission. Pay it gladly. Lesson 13. You will be villainized for your success. Plan for it. The poor expect the world to celebrate their rise. The world does not. It resents it. Because your success is a mirror reflecting their inaction. They will not say that. They will say you got lucky, you changed, you sold out, you exploited. Let them. Their narrative about you is none of your business. Your only job is to keep building while they keep talking. History is written by the victorious, not the vocal. Machiavelli was hated in his time, called cynical, immoral, a teacher of evil. Centuries later, he is studied in every institution of power. The people who criticized him are dust. His ideas are immortal. The same will be true for you on a smaller scale. The critics will fade. Your results will remain. Subscribe now if you have ever been called selfish for prioritizing your own growth. That accusation is a badge. Let us discuss the lies you have been told about leverage. You think leverage is debt. It is not. Debt is one form. Leverage is anything that multiplies your input. Other people's time. Other people's money. Other people's audience. Other people's expertise. The poor use only their own effort. The wealthy borrow everything. Not in a parasitic way. In a symbiotic one. They create structures where helping them helps others. Everyone wins, but they win more because they design the game. Here is the model. You want to start a business but have no capital. The poor say, I cannot start until I save enough. The wealthy say, I will find someone with capital who needs my execution and split the outcome. The poor wait for permission. The wealthy create partnerships. One has time but no money. One has money but no time. They combine and both get what they want. But the one who structured the deal, who found the partner, who created the entity, that person owns the system. And the system is worth more than any single contribution to it. Lesson 14. Design the system, then invite others to operate it. The poor operate. The wealthy design. Operation is labor. Design is leverage. You do not need to be the best at every part of the business. You need to be the best at orchestrating those who are. Machiavelli said a prince must know how to use the nature of both beast and man. In business, this means knowing when to work like a beast and when to organize like a man. Early on, you are the beast. You do everything. But the transition to wealth happens when you become the architect. When you stop being in the business and start being above it. The hardest part is letting go. You built it. You know it best. Letting someone else handle pieces feels like loss of control. It is. And that loss of control is the birth of scale. You cannot scale yourself. You can only scale systems. And systems require other people. Which means you must become excellent at finding, evaluating, and managing people. Not manipulating. Managing. There is a difference. Who in your life right now has a skill you need but do not have? Comment their role, not their name. Let us see how close you are to your first leverage hire. Machiavelli observed that princes are ruined by compassion. Not because compassion is wrong, but because it is often misapplied. The prince who cannot fire the incompetent friend loses the kingdom. The wealthy face this daily. The employee who is loyal but unproductive. The partner who was there at the start but cannot scale. The friend who needs a loan that will never be repaid. Compassion says help them. Strategy says cut them. The wise do both. Help them exit with dignity, but exit them. Cruelty is keeping someone in a role they are failing at because you are too uncomfortable to have the conversation. Kindness is the hard conversation that frees both of you. Lesson 15. Loyalty is a currency, not a religion. It has value, but it expires. The person who was essential last year may be an anchor this year. You do not owe anyone your future because of your past. Gratitude is remembering what they contributed. Foolishness is letting that memory destroy your momentum. Thank them. Compensate them fairly. Move on. The poor stay loyal to people beyond reason and suffer for it. The wealthy stay loyal to mission and bring only those who can keep pace. This will lose you relationships. Accept it now. The you that becomes wealthy will have a different circle than the you reading this. Not because you will abandon people. Because you will outgrow the contexts in which those relationships made sense. You will not have time for 3-hour conversations about nothing. You will not find gossip interesting. You will not tolerate drama. And the people who thrive in those environments will call you cold. You are not cold. You are focused. There is a difference. Here is the part they do not tell you. Wealth is lonely. Not because you have no people around you, because you have few who understand the price you paid. The decisions you made in private, the guilt you carried, the fear you moved through. Most people in your life will see the outcome and assume it was luck, talent, or privilege. They will not see the 1,000 invisible hours, the nights you chose work over sleep, the events you missed, the comfort you delayed. And you cannot explain it to them because it sounds like arrogance. So you stay quiet. And the quiet becomes loneliness. Machiavelli was exiled, tortured, and ignored for most of his later life. He wrote The Prince in isolation, hoping to win favor that never came. He died relatively poor. But his mind, his frameworks, his ruthless clarity, those became the hidden curriculum of power forever. He lost in his lifetime. He won in eternity. You may not win in the eyes of everyone around you. But if you build something that lasts, that generates, that frees you, you win in the only game that matters. Your own. Lesson 16. Stop seeking validation from those not playing your game. The crowd will never understand the player. The employee will never fully respect the entrepreneur's risk. The salaried will never appreciate the uncertainty of commission life. The stable will never honor the nomadic. You are not building wealth for their approval. You are building it for your freedom. And freedom looks different to everyone. Define yours. Then ignore every voice that defines it differently. What does freedom mean to you? Not money. Freedom. Comment it. One sentence. Let us see what we are actually building toward. There is a final gate most never pass. The gate between wealth and legacy. Wealth is what you accumulate. Legacy is what remains when you are gone. Most people never think about legacy because they never achieve wealth. But if you follow this doctrine, you will. And when you do, you will face a new question. What now? More money does not bring more happiness past a certain point. It brings different problems. The problem of meaning. The problem of purpose. The problem of what to do with power once you have it. Machiavelli understood that power without purpose is tyranny. Wealth without purpose is hoarding. The truly dangerous individual is the one who gains wealth not for wealth's sake, but as a tool toward a vision. What is your vision? Not your goal. Your vision. The goal is the $1 million. The vision is what you do with it. Build a school. Free your family from generational poverty. Fund research. Create art. The vision is what makes the ruthlessness worth it. Without vision, you are just another rich person. With vision, you are a force. Lesson 17. Decide now what wealth is for. Not later. Now. Because the way you build it will be shaped by why you want it. The man building wealth to prove his father wrong will burn out in bitterness even if he succeeds. The man building it to free his children from the suffering he endured will find strength in every setback. The why must be deeper than ego. Ego gets you started. Purpose gets you through. If you strip away all the status, all the comfort, all the validation, why do you actually want to be wealthy? Comment the truth. Not the impressive answer. The real one. You are near the end now. If you have made it this far, you are not like most. Most left after the first uncomfortable truth. Most unsubscribed when I said wealth requires ruthlessness. Most stopped listening when I told them their poverty is a choice. But you are still here, which means you have the rarest trait. The willingness to hear what you do not want to hear. That trait alone will take you further than talent, luck, or capital. Because that trait means you can learn. And the one who learns fastest wins longest. Machiavelli's final lesson in The Prince is this. It is better to be impetuous than cautious. Because fortune is a woman, and it is necessary to hold her down and beat her if you wish to keep her. Controversial words. But strip the archaic metaphor. What he means is fortune favors the aggressive. The bold. The ones who act while others deliberate. Caution preserves what you have. Boldness creates what you do not. And if you have nothing, caution is suicide. Lesson 18. When you have nothing to lose, act as if you have everything to gain. The poorest position is also the freest. You can take risks the wealthy cannot. You can pivot faster. You can burn it down and start over. The wealthy are trapped by their own infrastructure. You are not. Use that. Move fast. Test rapidly. Fail cheap. Learn expensive lessons early when the stakes are low. By the time you have something to protect, you will have learned how to protect it. The trap is staying in the nothing phase too long. Comfort in poverty. Excuses dressed as philosophy. I do not need much. Money does not buy happiness. I am rich in experiences. All cope. All narratives to avoid the discomfort of ambition. If you truly do not want wealth, stop watching this. But if you are here, you want it. Stop lying to yourself about not caring. You care. Deeply. Or you would have left 30 minutes ago. Here is the acceleration point. Everything I have said until now is foundation. Theory. Maps. But maps do not move you. Decision does. And decision requires a line in the sand. A moment where you stop being the person who learns about wealth and become the person who builds it. That moment is now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now. Because you will never feel ready. Readiness is a myth sold by those who profit from your hesitation. Machiavelli took action in chaos. Wrote his greatest work in exile. Built his immortality from nothing. You have more than he did. You have information, tools, access, examples. The only thing you lack is the willingness to begin before you are perfect. Perfection is a delay tactic. Start broken. Fix it as you go. Lesson 19. The plan you start with will not be the plan that succeeds. But you must start to discover the real plan. Every wealthy person will tell you their fortune came from a pivot, an accident, a failure that redirected them. But the redirect only happened because they were moving. Stationary objects do not pivot. You must be in motion. Bad motion is better than perfect stillness. Because motion teaches. Stillness only protects. What is one action you can take in the next 24 hours that moves you toward wealth? Not research. Not planning. Action. Comment it. Then do it. Let this be the moment something changed. Now the final truth. The one that will either ignite you or break you. You already know what to do. Every single step. You have consumed enough content, read enough books, watched enough videos. The information is not missing. The courage is. You know you need to start the business. You know you need to leave the job. You know you need to have the conversation, make the offer, take the risk. You know. But knowing and doing are separated by fear. And fear is the only real enemy you have. Machiavelli said men shrink from danger when it is far off but rush into it when it is near. Reverse that. Rush into danger while it is far off so that when it is near, you have already passed through it. The thing you are afraid to do it now while the stakes are low. Make the cold call now while you have a job to fall back on. Start the side business now while you have income. Have the hard conversation now while the relationship can still recover. Waiting does not reduce fear. It increases consequences. Lesson 20. Fear delays but does not disappear. It just gets more expensive. The conversation you avoid today becomes a lawsuit tomorrow. The business you delay becomes someone else's empire. The risk you refuse becomes the regret you carry. Act now or pay later. Those are the only options. There is no safe path. There is only the illusion of safety, which is the most dangerous path of all. If you have not subscribed, you are telling yourself you will come back and do it later. You will not. Do it now. Not for the channel. For the practice of doing things immediately when you know you should. That muscle is worth more than this video. Let me leave you with this. Machiavelli spent his life studying power. Not because he loved it. Because he respected it. He saw that the world was shaped by those willing to understand and use it, while the rest were shaped by the world. You are at a choice point. Be shaped or shape. Be subject or sovereign. Be the one who wonders what happened or the one who made it happen. Wealth is not a mystery. It is a decision followed by 1,000 actions that align with that decision. You decide you will be wealthy. then every choice after that either supports or betrays that decision. The coffee you buy, the hour you wake, the people you spend time with, the content you consume, the risks you take, all either compounding toward wealth or away from it. There is no neutral. Every moment is a vote. You have just spent over an hour listening to a voice tell you things you already suspected. That the system is rigged but learnable. That wealth is available but requires sacrifice. That you are capable but untested. Now the voice stops. And your voice begins. What will you say to yourself tomorrow when the motivation fades and the old patterns return? Will you say you tried? Or will you say you became? Machiavelli died centuries ago. But his principles are alive in every boardroom, every negotiation, every empire. Not because they are evil, because they are true. And truth does not care about comfort. It simply is. You can reject it and stay where you are. Or you can accept it and begin the walk toward power. The choice was always yours. It still is. But now you cannot pretend you did not know. Now the ignorance excuse is gone. You know what poverty is. A failure of strategy. You know what wealth is. A series of aligned decisions. You know what separates them. Courage. So the only question left is the one I cannot answer for you. Will you act? Or will you return to the comfort of spectatorship, watching others build the life you want, telling yourself it is not the right time, you are not ready, the world is unfair? That is a fine choice. Millions make it every day. But if you make it consciously. Own it. Say I choose comfort over growth. I choose safety over potential. I choose the known over the possible. At least then you are honest. But if you choose the other path, the Machiavellian path, then stop watching and start building. Close this video. Open the document. Send the message. Make the call. Register the business. Buy the domain. Write the plan. Take the step. And when fear rises, and it will, remember that fear is just the border between who you are and who you are becoming. And every person who ever built anything crossed that border trembling. You are not alone in the fear. You are only alone if you let it stop you. The wealthy felt it too. They just moved anyway. Be like them. Not in arrogance. In action. Not in cruelty. In clarity. Not in perfection. In persistence. This is the doctrine. These are the principles. The rest is yours to write. Make it a story worth telling. Make it a fortune worth leaving. Make it a life that required every ounce of courage you had. Because in the end, that is all wealth really is. Proof that you bet on yourself and won. Now go,